I'm sure all the cities in Cyrodiil are facing their fair share of trouble with the Oblivion gates and what have you, but Bruma is, well, to be honest, the most important, seeing as it's right there at the doorstep of where our last hope, the Emperor, is until we get the Amulet of Kings.
Well met.
The Grey Fox.
It's my pleasure. Please continue. I would like to send help to Bruma, but I cannot risk weakening Anvil's defenses with that Oblivion gate open outside the city. You too.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a recurring story right here. Each city is going to need us to close the gate that's threatening their gates before they can send help to Bruma. And that's fine. I want to close some gates anyway. I think this will be fun. But it certainly makes sense. Send all your defenses away while there's a gate looming right there on your doorstep. Yeah, that's not very smart. But if we can take care of this... So I'm guessing there's a gate open around each city waiting for that moment when they decide to make their final move, and then Daedra can kind of pour out of everywhere at once. That's smart, actually. But we don't need to see what happened to Kvatch happen to Bruma. Which I'm sure that's what they have planned, considering Kvatch is where Martin was at first. Now he's at Cloud Ruler Temple, and conveniently they're making plans to attack theirs. Anyway, we'll try to put a stop to that. If there's any Daedra I'm scared of, it's these stupid clan fears. He gave him a right hook. Awesome. Might as well go ahead and recharge my blade before I capture the soul, right? Nice. Oh, look what it does to the sky and everything all around. Oh wow, when I enchanted my boots, it took them off. I forgot about that. Need to put those back on. See, what is it raising my armor rating by? Huh. 28. It's raising it by 25. Okay, so that 20% shield must just be 20% of your base rating, not a 20 points of armor rating. Must just be a percentage of your overall. Let's see. My rating without... I don't feel like doing any math. Not sure, but it's certainly not 20% overall, or else I would put my armor rating, I would think, in the 60s, right? Close to 70? Oh, whatever. Better than nothing. Now we'll go for some agility, go for some intelligence. I think that'll pretty much round it off. You know what? This is that gate. Now, I think there's two that are kind of like this. I think there's a second one. Anyway, this one, it's like this series of tunnels, and it can become real tedious. I found kind of a backdoor way to get in, but you got to do a lot of climbing. Still have to do your share of either fighting or sneaking past a bunch of Daedra along this road here. But there's a way to basically horse climb. I say horse climb. You know how you can use your horse to go up basically vertical cliffs and stuff? Well, you can almost do that on foot. It's really, really tricky. Anyway, I'm going to try that because we might wind up spending 2 hours here, if not. I do not know my way through this. It's basically one tunnel leads out to a road a little bit higher up, then you take another tunnel, but if it's the wrong one, it's just a dead end, and there's another tunnel, and it takes you to a road a little bit higher up after that. And you can kind of see where these rocks kind of stick out, and there's like a little ledge above each one of those. And you may be able to climb those in turn. Like right here, there may be a way to get up over there. I'm thinking also if your athletics, acrobatics, whatever, was high enough that you could probably jump to get to a few extra rocks that you might not otherwise be able to reach. But I know if you go all the way down to the end of this road, there's a way up the backside. It's going to take a little bit of messing with, but we'll get up there. You can see how high up the actual tower itself is, though. Yeah, this one's a little different than the rest of them. Like I said, I think there's two like this. Anyway, if we can find our way up the back here, then if we do run into another tower like this, I'll probably just close the gates that are necessary to get the help from the various cities. I remember there being a gate open, I think next to that ruin when you first leave the sewers, whatever that's called. It was like one of the first places we went to explore. I believe there's a gate open right next to that ruin also, so we're probably going to have to close that for the Imperial City, I would guess. I think we already closed the one for Reveal. I'm pretty sure I already did that, just because it was there, and I felt like it. And we might have for another city, I don't really remember. But we're probably going to have at least 3 or 4 more. We'll probably head to Coral after this, or Skingrad. Yeah, that's right, Skingrad's still up there. Let's see, Leowin. I don't think I closed the Leowin gate. Shadenall. Might have closed that one. Might have closed the one for Shadenall, too. I don't remember. Okay, so you see this area here. It's, this is kind of open, but it's getting up this last little ledge right here that can be kind of tricky. It's going to take some working back and forth. What I wound up doing was doing the old chipmunk thing, putting it on super fast forward. So I'm going to do a lot of running back and forth. I could have clipped it out entirely, but in case any of you are interested on how to get up through this area right here, it's basically just a lot of going back and forth, feeling back and forth until you can jump like an extra couple inches type of thing. And working your way up around these rocks. Anyway, I have the circus music going on because this was interesting to say the least. This wound up taking, oh geez, I don't know, like 15 or 20 minutes. I'd have spent a lot longer than that getting lost in those stupid tunnels, though, I'll tell you that. We basically just have to make it just past those rocks, right up there on the other side of this little ridge. But it's getting over this last little bit right here that becomes kind of tedious. Not that you can really tell from this exactly how I did it, but it's basically just kind of finding little footholds and places where it would let me jump. There we go. Did a little vertical walking around that last rock and found this last little path here. Good enough. Probably not the only way up here, but works for me. Like I say, it beats getting lost for an hour or two. Alright, now let's go hack our way through this tower and see if we can't close this one and get some assistance from Anvil. Interesting seeing the gray fox sitting there. It's nice that they were reunited. I like the way that particular story ended. I mean, that quest line was just cool all the way around. All this so he could basically rid himself of the curse of this mask and return to his normal life, right? Son of a bitch summoned a clan fear. Yeah, stay busy over there. No, over there. Stupid frost afternet can't hold any threat, huh? Great. Yeah, that clan fear needs to go. Yeah, give him right hooks and stuff. There you go. Guys are doing some damage. They're not interested in my summons at all, are they? Wow. This is weird. Okay, seriously? Is it something I said? Come on, you're supposed to get distracted by my Atronach there. Worry about the big frosty guy punching you in your face. Alright, look, dude. How are you supposed to one-hand a Daedric Warhammer? What kind of crap is that? What's he doing, absorbing my spells? I think so. Oh, come on, man. Seriously? I said something to really piss these guys off. Alright, well, you worried about the wrong one, asshole. And we're gonna have a ton of these teeth and Daedra hearts by the time we're done with all this. Not like Skyrim. I don't think you need the hearts to do any kind of like... Yeah, there's no smithing or any of that. Don't you need like a Daedra heart for each individual piece of Daedric equipment? I'm trying to remember what you need to upgrade to actually... I mean, like to create it, I think you need a Daedra heart. I don't think you need them to upgrade them though, do you? And that shit would get expensive fast. I don't think so. I think it's just to make them. But in this, I think it's just an alchemy thing. In Oblivion. Alright, what do we got up here? I see something hiding around back there. Summon another damn clan fear. Now he's punching me in my face. Alright, this isn't cool. Alright, just how many things are getting summoned here? Seriously? Hate clan. Yeah, die. There you go. Oh, you son of a bitch. You're the one summoning this game, son. What do I need to do? Summon something stronger? They're not worried about my Atronachs at all. Looks like that shielding made a bit of difference, though. So those big Daedric weapons, they do some damage. They do get some damage bleeding through. Armor or no armor. Yeah, he's not doing near... Yeah, definitely makes a difference. We get our armor rating up to 85, and that's... Yeah, that'll pretty much do it. But we will have earned our stripes, though. Because earlier, when we were getting two-shotted by rats and running around, barely able to swing a dagger, I mean, we paid our dues. We definitely earned our stripes. So if we get a little bit of payback, get some ass-kicking ability, I'm cool with that. Call it overpowered if you want. I don't think so. Matter of just creating a build using legitimate tools that they give you to work with. I was told by somebody that training in things between levels is an exploit. And I'm like, okay, so if you go to school and train in all of your subjects so you can be knowledgeable in whatever career you're going to get into, whatever thing you're going to specialize in, like say computers. Like let's say you don't do any extra studying for all the various things that might be computer related. You just study one particular subject of computers. That's it, and you only study enough just to pass your tests, right? And so you miss out on a lot of extra status on your degree. You know, I mean, like, you know, special awards and commendations and things like that for excelling in this and that. And so, I mean, why would you want to intentionally suck when you can instead you can train and become good at things? Like the whole point of leveling here, once you understand how to level, and it's not. Wow, I mean, I just couldn't see how that in any way, shape, or form could have been bent into being an exploit. I mean, I get the whole thing is just play, and when you level, you level. I mean, I get playing like that, right? And if you're playing on normal, that does keep it actually competitive enough. It keeps it challenging enough to where I don't think the game gets boring, right? You can still do your thing. Although later in the game, you can probably still get overly powerful. Considering you'd have a lot of really good stuff. Also, you would level a lot more. You'd probably essentially level up to 40 or 50. Okay, seeing as the enemies stop leveling at 25, and you only have major skills that you use, so that means you get all of them eventually to 100, and so you level up to the level cap, which is 50. You know, if you do the math, regardless of what you pick, and regardless of how you do it, it winds up, you know, getting you to, I believe 50 is the cap. Anyway, so even if you get into the 40s, enemies stop leveling at 25. That's not an exploit? I mean, I would think having a health pool that's 15 or 20 levels higher than all of your enemies would be much stronger than just keeping up with your enemies, especially if you're going to crank the difficulty up. I think understanding how the leveling system works, as well as the enchanting system and spell making and all that stuff, I still run into some bad times here, right? Considering I think I leveled my character pretty well. We made the most of our levels as we went along. Got certain attributes where I wanted them to be, and it seemed to keep the playing field pretty level, even with some well-enchanted gear and good summons and stuff, although I fell behind in a few things and paid for it, you know. But just doing everything like I was supposed to be doing seems to, you know, keep up with the game. You still get a few enemies that get in there and 2 or 3 shots you. Clan Fear can still 2-shot me, as it is. Now, true enough, I don't have my armor rating maxed out. I don't have a bunch of shielding stuff, you know, equipped and so on and so forth. And with a max armor rating, I obviously wouldn't be taking quite as much physical damage. But even then, on this difficulty with a max armor rating, it's still like wearing only, what, 10% armor on normal? If you've got max armor on this, so fair is fair. I don't know. I just personally didn't see it. Of course, I'm not going to be leveling much anymore after this. Actually, the enemies will always be right here where I'm at. You know, I think, like I say, they stop at 25. I don't even think we'll hit 25. I doubt we'll get much past. What are we, 22 now? Maybe 23? Maybe. That depends on if, you know, like selling stuff. I think mercantile is a major skill. What is it? Not conversation, not persuasion, whatever they call it. Speechcraft. That's a major skill. So if I decide to use that, if you get a few skills in that, get a couple points in light armor because I'm wearing fin gleam, maybe. You know, this type of thing. Unequip something and decide to punch some rats. Okay, might get a point in that. So we could level theoretically 1 or 2 more times, maybe. But that's about it. So I think we stay right here, fair, where the game's at. We're never going to out-level the enemies. And so, I don't know. I don't see anything exploitative in that at all, personally. But whatever. Each to their own. If you want to be level 40 with your 100 stats and have, you know, 500 more hit points than everyone else has, okay, do your thing. I consider that a little more cheesy than legitimately training in my stuff between levels. Guys put up a fight. Man, still can't get any gloves or a helmet. I guess these guys just don't drop those. Those are worth a little bit of money. They weigh a ton, but they're worth something. I don't know. I'd rather pick up Daedric daggers all day long. I think I've pretty much made up my mind. If we go ahead and play this on stream, which we've been talking about it, and I plan on it, should we get around to streaming this, thought we'd do a playthrough. Probably get into Shivering Isles and some other stuff. That's kind of what I'd planned. Where instead of having to take a break to edit, and so we could just play through and just have some fun with it. Thought we'd run with clothes and a dagger. And that's it. Just a dagger. No shield, just a dagger. And clothing, and see if we can get our armor rating. Honestly, we might wind up with better armor rating with clothing. Seems like I don't think my armor rating got much above 10 until we were about level 15 or so. And I think we can beat that by just putting a simple petty or lesser soul gem enchantment on some clothes with just a basic shield. Probably put like fire shield and what's the most common? Fire and probably frost. Maybe just put 3 shielding spells on our clothes early on. Fire, frost, and shock. Get some resistance to that and get some shielding, you know, good 15, 18, 21 points of shielding, and be better off than we were playing through the first 15, 20 levels of this, honestly. Yeah, a full set of heavy armor still didn't give me but what, like a 13 armor rating or something for the longest? It was garbage. Of course, my skill was relatively low. That also does leave several armor options for training, but the thing is, if I'm not really ever wearing it, the only way to really level that is to specifically go train in it. I mean, I could always throw some on and go, you know, let a rat jump on me for a while. But even then, up until you're about level, I don't know, at least 15 or so, even the rats will still do some damage. They can 4 and 5 shot you know. If you're just letting them hit you, trying to raise up your armor rating, they'll get busy with you. Rats are like, okay, you can try to train if you want to. I'm going to chew on your ass. Anyway, kind of looking forward to that. I hope some of you guys are too. Right now, it's fun streaming Skyrim and stuff, along with Dragon's Dogma. Those are the two that we've been kind of going back and forth. Thought about a playthrough, a Let's Play of Dragon's Dogma too. Not sure quite how I would do it, though.
You have my ear, citizen.
It's not really as much as... It's got a story. It's got a really cool story, kind of spread out across the game, but it's a lot of farming. If you want to farm, you don't necessarily have to, but there's enemies to go out and kill because they drop certain stuff, so it does have almost an MMO feel to it. Just a little taste of it. For those types of players who get into that, it definitely has a little something for those of us that like that type of stuff.
It makes us all feel better to have someone like you around. I've heard that you've closed the Oblivion Gate outside Anvil. I honor you for your bravery and service to my city. With Anvil safe for the moment, I will send some of my best soldiers to bolster the Bruma garrison. Don't worry. Anvil's soldiers are worth 2 from anywhere else. Bruma will not fall.
That's the attitude. Although I'm sure every city would tell me that. You know, you should have that kind of confidence. Alright, well that's 1 down. I don't know how many to go. But I guess next from here, I don't know. I'm sure there's a quest marker in just about every city. Yeah, there's Coral. Guess we could head to Coral next. So there may be 1 or 2 of these that we've already closed their gate. I'm hoping there's at least 1 or 2 of those. I don't mind going and closing gates, but I don't want to spend the next 6 months doing that either. I like to kind of move the story along. I don't want to start streaming this until I'm done recording. That's kind of been the issue, because I don't want to cross up save files. If I did that, I'd be sick. If I undid hundreds of hours of gameplay, no, sorry. Not even going to take a chance of that happening. Plus, it's Skyrim. We've been having fun with that anyway. And Dragon's Dogma too. So, but anyway, as for this, I guess we have a few more gates to go. Alright, so we know what's in the near future. It's ahead for the next few videos, I guess. Unless we decide to take a break, maybe go check in on the Mages Guild. Need to make sure I remember to do that. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, you can click that button up top. If you want to catch the rest of this playthrough, you can click that image in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. Appreciate you hanging out, and I guess I will catch you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.